Gentlemen,
Hey,
welcome to Halloween Daily. Thanks for talking to us and hanging out today.
yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Well, I really enjoyed the movie Arcadian that we're here to talk about. I found it to be an incredibly intense viewing experience. And I'm curious what the vibe was like on set, though, because so often we hear that when that's what we see on screen, it's very much a release and very much the opposite as soon as the camera's cut. So I'm curious, what was the vibe like on set?
Even if that was the case, we wouldn't tell you.
No.
But no, we got lucky.
Yeah, we are really lucky.
I mean, specifically us two and Sadie.
Yeah.
We all really got along.
Yeah.
Obviously Nick was incredible to work with. And that was all due to Ben and the environment he curated. I know that Nick has said that he felt comfortable coming in and working with Ben again because they worked with each other previously. He knew how he worked, and Ben works very loosely. He gives a lot of freedom to everyone, and even to the camera operator, the DP, like the way the camera moves, and that's freeing for us too because it's not this structured thing. It's more of a feeling, and we're guided by instincts. So yeah, that was the vibe.
Yeah, it was a great experience, and Ben is so wildly talented in a lot of fronts. You know, when you work with a director, usually it falls into a director's, either a camera's director or an actor's director, and very rarely do you have both. But Ben really was both, and it's remarkable. He comes from a VFX background. Um, I think he really was so talented throughout the whole thing in putting together a carefully curated cast of people that I think he knew would get along really well. And their personalities on and off screen would complement each other. And then on top of it, assembling a great crew and then having such a strong vision for what he wanted the project to be, but also having trust in that crew. It takes a lot to be able to trust, be able to take some kind of creative freedom. And he was always great about allowing that, but also steering us in the right direction.
And you mentioned the cast, and obviously it's a very small cast, a tight cast, and it had to be curated because it so much hinges on the performances. And you guys playing twin brothers, were there bonding exercises or extracurricular activities that you guys did just to deeper the connection with each other?
Yeah, we hung out. We hung out a lot, partly because we were the only people living in the place that we were living. I mean, we were living in this hotel resort thing about 2 hours outside of Dublin in the middle of the woods.
Purely out of self-interest, not to create any kind of chemistry. It's just because I wanted to hang out with you and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
We did do some rehearsals too, which I think Ben made it clear that he wanted us to display that chemistry, to add little things, a physicality, a physicality that brothers have, grabbing each other and riffing. Like in the very beginning, we have first time you see them on camera, it's like there's a little bit of banter there, and that was we improvised with that and figured out a way to show their bond with very little simple moments, very small moments, but things that you could latch onto, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, it definitely comes through in the film. And you mentioned, of course, working with Nicolas Cage and Ben's FX background too. I don't want to spoil anything, but I mean the creature design in this film is very unique and striking, and I found it to be one of my favorite parts of the film. But again, on set, what were you guys actually looking at and seeing as you're reacting on set on the day?
Yeah, we had an amazing VFX team and an amazing stunt team that together kind of created this motion capture suit for a lot of the action. But and we had these claws, these prosthetic claws that they could put on. But for a lot of it, there was nothing there. I mean, but I keep coming back to it. At least it's not green screen. Green screen's way harder than just imagining something there. I mean, it's a muscle that you have to work, but at the end of the day, it is really playing pretend when you're doing that kind of stuff, and you are imagining something that's not there, it's almost freeing. And we had an amazing VFX crew that had these temporary designs for what they were looking like, but it was constantly changing over time. And but Ben, our director, had this philosophy that the creatures were going to be these natural things that came from the earth, that came from humanity's destruction, that that could theoretically be a real life animal that you could kill, but that's why it travels in swarms, and the swarm would get you. So it kind of created this. It made it almost creepier in my mind, because it was real. It had a structure. It had an anatomy. It had bones. It had body parts, and it had fingernails like humans. So it was, yeah. Ben had a clear design of what we were going to end up in the end with. So it almost didn't matter what the specifics of it looked like.
Well, it definitely is an unforgettable design when you see what comes through on screen. And I'm always curious about those behind the scenes. For our last question before we go, because every day is Halloween for us, as you can see, if you indulge us, what is your favorite Halloween costume that you've ever worn, and your favorite Halloween candy? We always ask everybody.
That's a great one. Well, Halloween is my family's go-to holiday. My dad, I grew up in a traveling circus, and my dad kind of goes overboard for Halloween, and he brings in all the circus performers, and we do like a crazy show to terrify children for the rest of their lives.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. No, it's so sick.
That's awesome.
My favorite Halloween costume, I've had some pretty great ones over the years. I went as Charlie Chaplin when I was 3 years old. That was a pretty good one. Although that one I don't quite remember. I loved my Rocky
How was Rocky? I was gonna
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you're from Philly, so you get to claim it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Rocky was like that was one of my favorite movie franchises for like the majority of my
That's
life.
funny.
So
I was gonna say Rocky.
okay.
Yeah.
Rocky.
Oh, candy. I'm more of a fruity guy. I like sour things, sour Skittles, which you get rarely, but or Laffy Taffies even.
Whoppers. I'm a Whoppers.
Oh, I
person.
do like the Whoppers.
Yeah,
I get
yeah.
the Whoppers.
And me and my sister are big Whoppers people. So when it comes down to trading candy, we would always reconvene at our house. Me and my sister, and then all of the neighborhood friends. And
So everyone's
me and my sister would work together, and together we would like trade all the really, really bad candies separately. They seem like we're not working together. And by the end, we just have a giant stack of 2 baskets of Whoppers. So
I love it. I love it. Well, you guys are definitely our people, our Halloween people. So instead of saying goodbye, I appreciate you taking the time, and I'm just going to tell you happy Halloween.
happy Halloween.